we will now have our another learning outcome in the strategic sourcing course, that what should be the supply objectives, right? And more important is how we would align it with the company's strategy, right? So, we all know what is strategy and action plan designed towards achieving long term goals and objective and to be competitive in the market. A quick steps which we would see here, like whenever we would perform any purchasing sourcing process, right, we generally do the steps, right? We will discuss in detail later, but here let us have quick steps so that we should understand whatever we need to perform as a supply management, right, how we can do it. In this process, we would identify users requirement, right? Every organization has many departments, say marketing, right, sales, production, processing, quality, design. We would get their user requirements, supply management function, identify user requirements, evaluate user needs effectively and efficiently. Then to meet this requirement, identify suppliers who can meet the need, develop agreements with those suppliers, develop ordering mechanism, ensure the compliance with the payment agreement and ensure that it occurs promptly, and then drive the continuous improvement. These are the steps every sourcing process would follow, right? So, to ensure that it is done efficiently and effectively, what the main activities are undertaken by supply management. When we talk about purchasing, okay, because we are saying purchasing, procurement, supply management, let's see in detail now what is that. What is purchasing? The activities of buying goods and services, right? The purchasing activities are, when the need has been identified, what your user wants, right? We process the purchase order, right? Means we have identified the need, we have identified the supplier, and now we would have purchase order, receive and monitor advance shipping notice when the products would be supplied, confirming receipt of goods after receiving the goods, process the invoices, ensure the invoices are as per the purchase order, and paying to the suppliers, right? So, this is what purchasing activities do, okay. For example, whenever we have to purchase, if there is a company making jackets, right, they would purchase all the direct materials, let us say thread, zips and all the fabric or leather, right. So, this is the purchasing activities. We also say that these are the tactical activities under sourcing and supply management, right. So, this activities when we perform, it is called purchasing activities. However, these activities are not only activities which come under the purview of sourcing, correct. To make this all activities happen and to strengthen it, right, the supply management function has to ensure, right, that the right supply contracts are in place, not only for direct, even indirect materials. Okay, what are indirect materials? Which do not go in the finished product directly, right. For example, your machineries, your tools, right. So, when we say procurement, other than purchasing activity, procurement takes care of, like how to ensure the supply, how to collaborate with other function within an organization, understand their needs, right, work with them, collaborate with them with new product development, what are their needs, what are the potential needs, of all sections, right? Do planning, how business is going, can we help in reducing the cost, can we help in substituting different materials, can we help company by having different suppliers, innovative techniques, right? Have this procurement function also takes care of how to be a point of contact for all contract developments and managing relationships with the supplier. Basically, it is actually all are interrelated, but you know, when we do say purchasing, there are purchasing activities which we have discussed. Now, another broad umbrella would be procurement, right? Managing relationships with the suppliers and even within an organizations. And you know, when we would go one step further, right? Strategic view of managing supplier, long-term collaborations with suppliers, having intelligent sourcing strategy for every category of product, right? What do we mean by intelligence? For example, how prices are doing, right? For raw materials, how prices have been doing in the past, how it can go in future, right? Those intelligent decisions, right? Supply market research. Is there any new supplier enter in the market? Is there any new product, right? Advanced technologies, right? Predicting future, right? So, these are the all how to deal with currency fluctuation. Can we go for some hedging strategies? What should that be, right? Whether to go for global supplier, right? This intelligence has to be there. You know, can we predict risk? Can we manage the risk? Keeping risk in mind, which supplier would be good enough, which country would be good enough, right? What are the geopolitical conditions? All these things when covered, this is called strategic sourcing. Okay. So, now you can see that with over a period of time, you know how all these activities are encompassed in strategic sourcing. Okay. So, many of these activities we will be dealing with during this course. The most important thing is whatever supply management functions or sourcing which we are discussing now, either you know the matrices, matrix we use for managing supply management function, right? The important thing is it should be aligned with the organization's strategy, right? Organization's goal. Then only you know the organization would pay attention to the purchasing or procurement function, correct? For example, survival of an organization. Every organization has a strategy of survival, sustaining the business. They want to grow in the number of by number of customers, grow in new markets, right? Grow in number of employees, right? Grow in number of customer base, financial, you all know, right? And environmental. Companies want to be sustainable, correct? But we are talking in supply management, what we are talking? We are talking quantity, quality, right technology, right price, right service, right delivery, right? So, we are talking about these. Now, where is the alignment? Company would be interested in earnings per share, company would be interested in market share, right? We are talking about service delivery, price. Now, where is the fit? Where is the alignment? Okay. So, this is very important thing to understand. In fact, this is true for any business function and so is for strategic sourcing, how we can align, right? So, for example, if you know companies objective is to increase customer base, that means continuously providing products, it is only possible if there is continuity of supply, correct? This is how we have to align our each supply strategy with the business strategy, right? But there would be challenges also, okay? Challenges would be like, for you, suppose manufacturing or processing department has said we cannot stop, we cannot have break in our production, so supply continuously. But business strategy would say, no, we need to reduce the prices, we don't need to produce continuously. Then what you would do, right? There can be challenges. Supply management would say that it is cost effective to insource, don't outsource, right? We have good capability, we should insource, right? But business strategy says no, we would outsource, we don't want to invest within the organization, right? So all these challenges one would face when you would be having in supply management function, but one has to align with the supply strategy. How to align? We need continuity in supply, assured supply, cost reduction, supporting supply chain, competitive advantage, environmental change and sustainability, risk management, right? Assured supply means continuity of supply, right? So we would see that, competitive edges again, like, how to be the best in the market, okay? Most of the points, we have already covered, right? But what is this risk? When we say risk management, right, as a supply strategy, one has to take care of operational risk, that is no interruption in flow of goods and services, financial risk, change in prices of goods and services, have right hedging strategies to meet currency fluctuations and exchange rates. Reputational risk, we have seen in the last session how, the risk and reputation is at stake, if we would not have the right suppliers, on board. So this is very important. Few cases we have seen, in the past, like, very reputed companies' products were boycotted when, some fire broke out in Bangladesh, right? So this was like, the end consumers were not happy because, the safety norms, the fire broke down, the reason for fire broke down because of the safety norms were not followed, right? So such reputation risks, like, have to be managed with the supply management functions. So this should be the strategy, right? This reputation and images, like, it is really a big damage for the company also, right? So organization strategy would be affected, if, your customers will stop using the products. So how we can have supply strategy in line with organization strategy? By following all these factors. So how we can do that now? We have already learned that the traditional view is that, the supply management should focus on quality, quantity, time, price, source. But this is not enough, right? What are the right supply management objectives? Competitive advantage, supply continuity, effective and efficient supply process, supply base management, and productive interfunctional relationships. The idea is all these factors can be transformed into some more rights. What can be those? What can be the other rights? Quality, quantity, time, price, source, right? So this is how when we are moving from traditional view of purchasing, sourcing to more of supply management objectives, we are trying to bring right mode of delivery, right contract, right place, and likewise, we can enumerate others also, right? So, right technology, correct, which would be covered under this supply management objectives. Supply, first objective, competitive advantage, we all have seen, you know, how we can align with business strategy, right. If it is mass customization, look for, you know, innovative products. If it is mass production, look for cost reduction and price reduction. Supply continuity, how we would ensure uninterrupted flow of supplies, how we will get from best in class suppliers, and how to maintain and improve quality. You know what happened? We all know that, like, you know, if our supply is not continuous and if it is not uninterrupted, right, mostly healthcare sector, hospitals would be affected badly, right. Best in class suppliers, right, we will form good collaboration partners, like, you know, responsive to the materials and support needs, correct. So, on those aspects of IT services and design activities, we can collaborate with the suppliers, like, you know, we have examples how Ola partners with Siemens, right, to be in best in class suppliers. If we will not focus on quality, what can go wrong, right? Just see here, this is very good example of ignoring the quality aspect, right. So, there is a spring assembled into braking system, right, of a diesel locomotive costs less than this part, right. This spring assembly, it costs just $5, right. When it is assembled, if the spring turns out to be defective when the locomotive is in service, right, if you don't check and just assemble it, the replacement cost is in thousands of dollars. You can see that the prevention thing, you know, and this quality thing, if ignored, the price of that part, if it is ignored, would turn out to be in thousands of dollars. How come? Tear down required to replace the spring, the lost revenue to the railroad because locomotive is not in service, and possible loss of locomotive reorders, right. The damage would be huge if, you know, we would compromise on quality. That is why the second objective of supply management is supply continuity with uninterruption, best in supplier class, focusing on quality. Second is efficient and effective sourcing process, right. Right workforce, as we have seen in the last session, what should be the human resource of supply management function, right. Developing and adhering to administrative budgets, right. Improve procurement to procure to pay systems. We will discuss as we will discuss the technological or technology interventions in supply management, spending visibility, right, and efficient invoicing and payment, right. How we can standardize, you know, all this spend analysis and invoicing process using technology, right, or using some softwares, right, that we would see. But the idea is how we can make it more efficient by reducing manual work, right, because this manuals, the purchase orders in the paper form, the invoices in paper form, you know, it is a costly affair and it is not good for environment too. Okay. So, this is second set of objective. And standardize, right. The moment we say efficient sourcing, we need to standardize the process. We will talk more about the standardization, but it is always good to have common specification of process, right. What happens, like, you know, maybe, you know, in suppose in design function, one user in a company says I prefer brand 1, but another user say I want brand 2, right. But actually specification wise, right, if both would agree, specification wise both the brands are same, right. So, can we have some kind of standardization, right. Standardization reduces the cost to organization, and standardization also helps in supplier consolidation. Okay, there would be 100 of suppliers, but if we don't have knowledge of specification, if we don't have knowledge on standardization the product, we might end up signing with so many redundant suppliers, right. So this is what lower risks in the market. It lowers the price through volume purchase agreement, right. If we would stick to one brand and discuss with the users that specifications are same, can we standardize the specification within our organization, then you can actually reduce the number of suppliers and you can get the volume discounts by ordering more, right. So such standardization practices are useful under, and that is why they are one of the supply management objectives. Another is development of supply base management. We would select supplier, develop suppliers and maintain supplier, right. Many instances companies have gone forward, right. Many companies have actually deployed their employees in their suppliers premises to develop them, right. So strategic sourcing goes to that level of collaboration. So, but this is really important because the organization has to use the supplier's product, right. So both expertise actually can enhance the performance of that product. And very important aspect is, right, supply management must understand the role of inter-functional relationship. When we say design, right, so one should say that you build any product, any software, there is 70% of value which is established during design is contributed by supplied parts, products or raw materials, right. That is very important decision. Operations excellence, all production, manufacturing, converting process, there supply has a very important role, right, to have uninterrupted quality, good quality products, right. This is how we see the relationship of this function with the supply management. Market, the sales and marketing team is the representation or voice of customer, right. What are the new products, what are the new requirements of customers they would bring to the company, right. They have to deal with the suppliers, along with the suppliers supply management function, like how this new products can be manufactured and whether there are for this new products, do we have good supply base or not. Accounting, your budget would be set by accounting, right. How much we can spend, how much we can spend on each supplier, how much we can spend on each department, right, how much we can spend on each part component. That whole spend analysis is done in congruence with accounting, right. And many other departments we would see where this thing. And to run a good supply management show, one must form cross functional team. So that is why the strategic sourcing function, right, purchasing activities can be done, but procurement also to some extent, but when it comes to overall strategic sourcing, we need cross functional teams to handle all these decisions which we have just mentioned, right. So this is all about supply management function. Now you must be wondering, how would I say what is my supply strategy? Okay, to design your supply strategy you can have this framework, right. So you can use this components, use 5 W's. What to produce? What to produce, is it a standardized product or customized, or whether it is in-house or outsourced? Who is responsible for buying? Authority, supply manager, vice president, chief procurement officer. Those are the signing authority. When to buy? If it is price fluctuations are there, when to buy? Where to source from? Single supplier, multiple supplier. Why a particular strategy? Time to market, customization, go for quality quantity, 2 Qs, how to contract with the supplier, What kind of contracts? This should be the payment period, this should be the quality, this should be the discounts, yeah, right. All these terms will go in the what to do in after sales service, warranty, guarantee, you know, all this decides the contract and the price. Use these strategic components to devise a good supply strategy for your organization, right. So, this will be comprised of all the activities like, you know, which any strategic sourcing function has to perform, right. So, with this we have come to an end of the session on supply objective, right. What are the objectives of the supply management and how this should be aligned with the company's overall strategy, right. Thank you.